Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about a romance drama film called Out of the Blue from 2022. Enjoy your viewing. Connor meets Marilyn on his morning run. After exchanging a few words, he invites Marilyn to stay and keep him company. But the woman has to leave. This small piece of shore is Marilyn's secret place where she takes a break from her husband. A few days later, Marilyn shows up at the library where Connor works. Suddenly, Connor notices a bruise on the girl's face. According to Marilyn, it happened on the day she was talking to a guy on the beach. She did not return home on time and was abused by her husband at home. But she didn't come here to complain. Marilyn is interested in a book about murder, preferably with a man dying at the end of the book. Connor takes her to the mystery section. There, Marilyn says that she feels the same way about Connor as he does about her. She would love to talk to him all day long. Connor is happy to hear this, but he has to get back to work. A few minutes later, Marilyn comes over. She has selected several books and hands Connor a bill. The boy refuses to take a tip, but the woman insists. When Connor opens the bill, he sees the girl's phone number. The next morning, he goes to a restaurant where he meets with the police superintendent. It turns out that Connor was released from prison 6 months ago, and now he is under police supervision. The cop interviews Connor and then leaves. Meanwhile, the boy calls Marilyn. Connor wants to see her again, but Marilyn can't meet him right now because she's babysitting her stepdaughter and her friend, waiting for her husband, Richard. Connor asks if he is the man who bruised the woman. Marilyn disconnects the call. At this moment, a sheriff's deputy arrives at Connor's house. After listening to the insults against him, Connor promises to leave the park where he had come for a run by 6 p.m. Several days pass, and there is no news from Marilyn. A colleague at the library starts flirting with Connor. Kim invites the boy to go jogging together. But Marilyn and her stepdaughter suddenly appear. The girl has a term paper ahead of her and needs a book about Coco Chanel. The girl asks Marilyn to go with Connor and choose a book. The guy takes her to the lower floors, where there are books about fashion. There, Marilyn approaches Connor, and they start kissing. And then the woman makes the guy feel incredible emotions while no one sees them. Another week passes, and Marilyn makes an appointment with Connor to meet him in the park where he runs and where they first met. The couple starts kissing, and then they do something that can't be shown on YouTube. Resting after a hard class, Marilyn says that she would live in this moment forever, but it's a pity that it's not possible. Despite the fact that they know almost nothing about each other, she likes Connor, and she would tell him so every day if the guy belonged to her. What a pity that will never happen. She would be happy to run away from her husband, but Marilyn is afraid for her stepdaughter Astrid, who is being beaten by her father. The bruise that Connor saw was caused by her trying to protect her stepdaughter. The guy offers to turn this evil man into the police. One call and everything will be resolved. Connor tells his story of how he ended up in prison. 4 years ago, he pushed a guy inappropriately. He fell, hit his head, and got injured. Because of this, Connor ended up in prison. The couple goes back to their cars, and Connor has to go back to the place where they were exercising with Marilyn. The guy has dropped his keychain somewhere, which is very precious to him. The couple meets again a week later. This time, Marilyn brings the guy to one of her husband's houses. The woman says that she thinks about Connor every minute, but it's a pity that she is married. Divorce is not an option. Richard will never divorce Marilyn in his life. Divorce from her husband can only happen if he dies. She makes ambiguous hints. When the couple returns home, Connor discovers that his key fob is missing. It is possible that he dropped the fob somewhere in the house. Marilyn says that she really hopes that this was not the last time they will see each other, which makes Connor angry. 3 more weeks pass. Connor and Kim return from lunch. By chance, he meets Marilyn with her stepdaughter and her friend. After learning from Astrid that she has passed her term paper, Connor and Kim are about to go on, but Marilyn stops them. The woman wants to ask about a book in which lovers get rid of their husbands, and Marilyn wants to know if they got away with it. Despite the fact that the husband dies in the book, everything does not end well. Later that day, Connor receives a call from Marilyn. From her silence, he guesses that her husband has beaten her again. Connor says that if the characters in the book had stuck together, everything would have ended well. Marilyn asks him why he's bringing up the book now. Connor says that if they decide to do what they did in the book, there will be no turning back. Marilyn agrees. She makes an appointment for tomorrow, at the same house where they met 3 weeks ago. According to Marilyn, in a few days she and her stepdaughter will be leaving town for a couple of days to go shopping. Her husband will be home alone. There is no alarm system in the house, but he always sleeps with a gun under his pillow. Connor wants to know that it's not all about her husband's money. Marilyn justifies herself and says that even though he has a lot of money, it will still go to Astrid because she is his daughter. Marilyn takes this desperate step for Connor. She wants to be with him. Connor promises to do everything while Marilyn and Astrid leave town. He returns home, where a sheriff's deputy is waiting for him. The cops are curious about where Connor has been all day, despite the fact that it's his day off. Connor lies and says he was running in the park all day. There have been several thefts in their town, so the police came to Connor's house because he has a criminal record. But he has an alibi because he was having dinner with his mom. The day of Marilyn and Astrid's departure arrives. At midnight, Connor breaks into Marilyn's house. He goes through the solarium that is attached to the house. He was advised to do so by Marilyn. Picking up one of the statuettes, the guy goes up to the bedroom to finish off Richard once and for all, but suddenly there is no one in the room. Picking up a pillow, Connor finds a gun, just as Marilyn said. He goes downstairs and decides to leave, since no one is home. But at that moment, Richard enters through the front door and goes upstairs to the room. Connor sneaks up behind him. Hearing the floor creak behind him, Richard turns around. He sees Connor and runs to the bedroom to get his gun. Connor catches up and rushes at him, but Richard manages to throw the guy off him and tear off his mask. The man points the gun at Connor and is about to shoot, but suddenly someone hits him in the head. This is Jared, Astrid's boyfriend. The girl told him everything, so he snuck in to rob the place. When he heard the struggle, he came to Connor's aid. Taking Richard's gun, Connor shoots Jared. Connor returns home and gets a call from Marilyn. Connor warned the woman not to call him for a few weeks. The guy is angry with her because he thinks that Marilyn put Jared up to it. His appearance at Richard's house is not accidental. Connor confesses that he had to kill Jared. This is perfect, because now it looks like Richard and Jared killed each other. Marilyn makes excuses and says she didn't know anything. Connor asks her not to call him again for a while, so that things can get better. In the morning, Connor meets with his supervisor, and he tells him about the night's incident. The probation officer says that all suspicions of robbery are now cleared of Connor. The robber has been found. It was Jared, who was shot by Richard at his home. The warden notices a wound on Connor's neck that he received during the fight with Richard, but the boy lies and says that he hit a branch while jogging in the park. A few days pass. Early in the morning, Connor receives a message from Marilyn. She writes him only one word that was in the book. This is a secret sign that she is ready to meet him at the place where they met. Leaving the house, Connor meets the police. The warden says that Connor is in trouble. Under Richard's fingernails, blood belonging to Connor was found. The boy hits the warden with his backpack and starts running. The guy rushes to the secret place where they first met Marilyn and where the woman is supposed to wait for him. The warden asks Connor not to do anything stupid because the cops will shoot him immediately. But the guy is interested in only one thing. He wants to know how the cops knew he was coming here. The warden tells him that a woman called them and told them the place where Connor would run. There is no point in deceiving the police because they found a key fob belonging to Connor in Richard's house. The guy realizes that he has been set up because he lost the key fob in a completely different house. At that moment, Connor's phone rings. The warden asks him not to pick up the phone, but he doesn't listen and pulls the cell phone out of his pocket. Because of this, the sheriff's deputy shoots Connor. At the end of the movie, we are shown Marilyn and Astrid sailing on a yacht. The girl asks her stepmother why she stole a book from the library. Marilyn replies that she simply did not return it. Astrid gets up from the couch, approaches Marilyn, and they kiss.
If you have watched the video so far, you should know that I am happy to have viewers like you. Thank you for watching to the end. Subscribe to the channel and follow the news. Klontsak Recapped was with you. See you soon.